Thank you so much for your wonderful explanation. Let's proceed to the fourth model. Let us hear Ms. Alignment to further elaborate stakes congruency contingency model.
Hello everyone! Our mission for today is to understand why stakes model is being used to evaluate a program. Stakes congruency and contingency curriculum evaluation model gives a broad base for program improvement and identifies factors related to the success or failure of the total program. But before we proceed to the model, let us know first who is Mr. Robert E. Stake. Robert E. Stake was born on December 18, 1927. He is a professor of Emeritus of Education at the University of Illinois. He is a native of Adams, Nebraska. He has been a leader in development program evaluation methods for decades. And he also stated that we must evaluate the curriculum by its qualities. Now that we know Mr. Robert Stake, let's proceed to the framework of the model. Robert Stake claimed that curriculum evaluation is not complete unless three categories of data are made available. These categories of data are antecedents, transaction, and outcomes. The first category is the antecedent, any condition existing prior to teaching and learning which may relate to outcomes. It includes goals, resources, and conditions that exist prior to the evaluation period. It also includes data on students and teachers, the curriculum to be evaluated, and the community context. About the students and teachers' data, for example, students' personal background and prior knowledge. For teachers, their teaching methods and strategies, classroom management, and professional background. It also includes curriculum or program that will be evaluated. For example, the goals and the objectives of the program. And for the community context, which includes the surroundings and physical features around the campus. For example, the Colegio ng Luzon ng Batangas is surrounded by landmarks like Batangas City Coliseum, Batangas City Convention Center, Batangas City Fort, and Batangas City Sports Center. All of these are considered as antecedents in Stake's curriculum evaluation model. Now that we know what is antecedent, let's move on to the next category, which is the transaction. Transactions, things that exist during the evaluation period which influence the process that is evaluated or activities occur during the evaluation. It also includes the time allotment, sequence of steps, social climate, and communication flow. For example, in time allotment, the schedule of classes, meetings, and conferences. Sequence of steps are the process or procedure of the program. For example, the instructional practices of the teacher, the learning experiences of the students, and the students' performance assessments. Social climate is the relationship between teachers and the students. For example, are the teachers approachable? Are the students respect their teacher? Communication flow is the organizational structure in school. For example, at the Colegio ng Luzon ng Batangas, the personalities or implementers of the curriculum inside the school, starting from the president, Dr. Lorna L. Gapi, as the college administrator, the head of institutional communication, Dr. Rechi Gico, college secretary, Mr. Manolo Perlada, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Dr. Feliciana Adarlo, Vice President for Research Extension, Planning and Development, Dr. Doringer Cabrera, Vice President for Administration, Dr. Leonor de Guzman, Vice President for Finance, Mr. Mark Macarandang, down to faculty members, teaching and non-teaching staff, and the students. I think this category was the vital part of the model because the curriculum evaluation will not be completed unless this category are made available. So now that we know what transaction is, let's move on to the last category, which is the outcomes. outcomes also includes students' learning in the form of understandings, skills, and values or attitudes, as well as the effects of the curriculum on the teachers, students, and school. For example, at the end of the school year of a grade 1 student, he or she must possess the following skills: to write, spell, read common words, complete a sentence with correct capitalization and punctuation. It also includes the student's learning in the form of values and attitudes. For example, being honest, respectful, humble, and many more. Effects of the curriculum on the teachers, students, and schools. For example, the effects of the curriculum on the teachers are: they can enhance their teaching strategies, expand and practice their profession, and provide necessary learnings for the students. For students, they can achieve the learning outcomes that they wish to experience and the performance skills intended by the curriculum. For the school, they can provide the desired learning opportunities, improves teaching process, and improves student outcomes, and provides the learning goals and the clear path for students to progress from one grade to another. The data gathered will provide the necessary information for the evaluation process. The term congruency refers to the degree of alignment between what was desired and what was actually achieved. Contingency refers to the relationship between one variable and another. To expand our knowledge about the congruency and contingency, I have here an organized figure to make stakes model easier to understand. In this curriculum evaluation model, there must be a congruency between the intended curriculum and observed curriculum. The intended curriculum is the ideal curriculum set as standard to be based on. The observed curriculum is the current and functional curriculum. As you can see, the observed antecedents must be in congruence with the intended antecedents. For example, the goal of the program was to provide globally competitive individuals. Did it happen on the actual program? In terms of transactions, does the observed transaction have congruency with the intended transactions? For example, the schedule of classes, did it happen according to the plan? About the outcomes, the observed outcomes must be congruent to the intended outcomes. For example, after the grade 1 level, the students is expected to possess the ability to read. Did the students achieve the ability to read? Also, we must consider the contingency or the relationship of one category to the other category. The antecedents must have contingency with transactions. For example, the student's learning style, which is considered as antecedent, has contingency with the teaching process, which is under transaction. Did the two categories met each other? Also, there should be contingency or relationship between transaction and outcomes. For example, the teaching learning process was focused on learning how to read. And the result or the outcome at the end of the school year, the student was able to read words and sentences. I hope that you all understand why stakes model is being used to evaluate the program. This is Lycaladon as a group for reporting.
Thank you so much, Miss Light, for your further elaboration.